Today, we're going to skip down to the last one, Senate Bill 2494. Senator Blunt's got an obligation, so we're going to let him go first. Senator Blunt.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a thick bill, but what is new is really just the first two sections of the bill, the first 9 pages. This is a bill that I filed for the first time 12 years ago and passed the Senate, I want to say 3 times in that term. The bill is very straightforward. The reason the bill is so thick is it deals with state agency office leasing. And what the bill would do is put the Department of Finance and Administration, which is led by an appointee of the governor, in charge of leasing office space for state agencies. The current practice is there are some standard procedures that agencies need to go through, but essentially each agency negotiates its own lease. And the result of that is folks are scattered all over the place. In many cases, each agency will have its own boardroom for their board meeting once a month. They'll have their own break room. They'll have their own coffee room. They'll have their own copiers, their own internet. There are opportunities for savings in space and rent if that's done in a comprehensive manner. So the bill would put all that at DFA, and they have provided, the chairman's provided you information from DFA about all the leases, at least in the Metro Jackson area. The bill specifically exempts from this services that are county specific. That's on lines 73 through 82. So, for example, if there's an office, a health department office that serves residents of Madison County and it's in Canton, or Rankin County and it's in Brandon, that is not going to be subject to the provisions of this. But the bill would put all leasing at DFA. And then the other aspect of the bill that is on line 103 through 108, and it says that they'll be located in state property or in privately owned property within the Capitol complex only if the agency's rental payments are less than what they're currently paying. That's an explanation of the bill. Mr. Chairman, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Are there any questions? We did note, Senator Blunt and I discussed this. There's I guess a typo on line 29. This is January 1, 2014. I'd like to make a motion to change this to 2025, January 1, 2025.
I would say 20, yes, sir, 2025.
All right, so I'll make a motion to change that to 2025. Anybody have any objections? All right, call a vote on making that amendment to 2025 on line 29. All in favor say aye. All opposed? All right, ayes have it. Make that correction. All right, motion's title sufficient, do pass committee sub. Anybody, sorry. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? All right, so that bill will be recorded.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator Blunt. All right, next we're going to bring up, I guess we're just going to work our way up from the bottom. So Senator Jackson is here. We're going to bring up Senate Bill 2465. Senator Jackson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, members of the committee. This bill here, just a 2-pager, seeks to transfer ownership of a park situated in highways 3 and 6 in Marks, Mississippi, from Mississippi Department of Transportation to the city of Marks. I'm open to any questions.
The only question I have is, have y'all spoken with MDOT about this transfer?
Yes, there was conversations with them that I have it on good authority that they are willing to do this transfer. No resistance.
Okay. Well, I mean, we had emailed Brad White with MDOT. He didn't have a problem with it, but he didn't seem to know anything about it. So I just, I'd make sure I'd follow up. Maybe we get some of the documentation prior to if this passes committee get some of that documentation before we brought it out on the floor.
Absolutely. And I have provided just the informational, which is history on Marks and the park itself, and as well as some future plans that we have for the park once it's transferred.
All right, is there any other questions? All right, do we have a motion? All right, the motion is titled sufficient due pass. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? All right, that bill will be recorded. Thank you, Senator Jackson.
Thank you.
All right, next we will call up Senate Bill number 2275. This is Senator DeBar's bill, very similar to Senator Jackson. This is transferring property from the Mississippi Transportation Commission, transferring it to Greene County. Kind of similar, a minute ago, I think we need some more documentation on this, but Senator DeBar said this is something that they've discussed, and I think everybody was in agreement, but I'll be happy to answer any questions anybody has. All right, have a motion? All right, the motion is titled sufficient due pass. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? All right, that bill will be recorded. And last is Senate Bill 2708. This is transfer the Department of Public Safety building where they currently are located. As everybody knows, Department of Public Safety is moving to a new facility. I talked to the commissioner yesterday. He was looking maybe the end of March, maybe sometime in April. So what this bill will do is allow DFA to transfer this property or lease the property if they so choose. We are waiting on a survey. Not sure when we're going to get that. The description is in the bill is not very good. It's more of an indexing type instructions, but once we get the survey, we can make that amendment to add the proper description in there. Does anybody have any questions? Yes, sir.
Well,
Senator Bryan.
I'm certainly in agreement with what I understand the purpose of the bill is, which is to let DFA handle this piece of property. My question is, it's somewhere, I think I saw some reference to the highest and best use for the state. And I haven't been able to read the bill quickly enough to find out what that means about the price the land is leased for and sold for and on and on and on. And I have no idea what's the best thing to do with that property. And it suits me to have DFA in charge of it. That's what DFA ought to be doing. My only thought is that DFA ought to be able to at least consider propositions that might involve using that for state purposes, that might involve some facility there that would, and I don't know what this would be, but that the location of the facility would be more important than the value of the land. And again, I can't say what that is. And I wonder if we should give them the authority to at least consider those things, or if the thought is if something like that comes up, they can just wait till we get back in session and we can see what the legislature thinks about it. That's the only thing I have about,
Right.
only comment I have about the bill, and I have no comment about the various code sections which are brought forward.
And I agree with you. And this bill gives them authority to lease the property or to sell it. But my understanding is I think the building has to be torn down. I think that's what Lieutenant Governor told me yesterday, because they were getting some cost estimates on what it would take. And I don't know, I haven't heard any planned uses they have for the property at this point, but I think the hospital is very interested with acquiring that property. Like I said, I think it's kind of open in the air right now. I don't think they have any plan that I've been told. And that didn't mean they don't have some kind of plan. But I'll be happy to add any language or anything that you recommend on this.
I'm not clever enough to have any language just yet. Maybe we can mutter before it's taken up on the floor, and somebody somewhere who can figure out what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, and so like I said, we've got to get the survey anyway to get a proper description. I think this property's been part of the state since the beginning. I don't think they had a good description anyway, so we're having to get a survey, but like I said, I'll be happy to address any of your concerns. Do we have any other questions? All right, motion's titled sufficient due passed. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? All right. The bill be recorded. Do I have a motion? All right, rise and report.